A major road in Athens is under construction, what this means for traffic flow. Jury selection continues in the trial of a police officer accused in murdering George Floyd. And the Vinton County girls basketball team is making history. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Sam Wiesnath. For years, the city of Athens has been putting Band-Aids on Stimson Avenue, one of the first impressions for visitors entering town. But this month, the street began its $7 million makeover. Since the last major overhaul 50 years ago, parts of the street have been torn up and patched over countless times to service the aging infrastructure underneath. Now the city will finally upgrade that infrastructure, including water, sewer, gas, and telephone lines, and will also install new high-speed internet lines. Mayor Steve Patterson hopes the project will bring new business to one of the city's main gateways.
What's going on right now is a complete rebuild of Stimson Avenue. And so when everything is done, we'll have a brand new reconditioned street and sidewalks, and hopefully we're not going to see any more traffic disruptions for a good 20 to 25 years.
The state chipped in a little under $3 million for the project. The rest is coming from the city's street rehabilitation levy. Work is being done one lane at a time, which means for the near future, eastbound traffic is being detoured along State Street. Construction on the westbound lane should be completed by July, and the eastbound lane should reopen by late October. University uses asymptomatic COVID testing to keep campus safe and open this semester, but there's a lesser-known method the university is using to track COVID on campus. Anna Azalian got a look at this testing.
There are no swabs or spitting into tubes for the testing Dr. Karen Kashigano is doing. This test only needs wastewater.
The SARS-CoV-2 has been shown to be shed in your feces when you go to the bathroom, and that's how it's ending up in our sewage system.
A group of students collect the wastewater from this manhole and 4 others twice a week.
Whereas contaminated, dirty, so we always have to make sure that we're cautious of that, and that's why Maya's wearing gloves and the protective suit.
Oh, here they come, actually.
They deliver it to Kashigano's lab, and she starts a multi-step process.
I do all of my work in there
to pull the RNA out of the wastewater. This is the carrier of the genetic information for the virus. If Kashigano notices a spike of the virus in the sample, she lets the person in charge of OU's coronavirus response, Dr. Gillian Ice, know.
And I say, hey, this manhole serving these dorms, they were looking a little on the high side.
ICE then has the students in those dorms get a rapid test. Kashigano says this has happened twice so far. The first time they found 1 positive case that had been detected earlier by asymptomatic testing. The second time they found new positive tests a few days later.
We're still learning what this signal means. Like, does it mean there is something going on, or has something just gotten caught like nearby the collection site of the wastewater?
Kashigano says the next step is to find a way to compare this testing with the clinical testing and find trends in the data. For WOUB, I'm Anna Azalian.
Kashigano says once more people are vaccinated, they might be able to administer fewer asymptomatic tests and rely on this wastewater testing. Authorities have identified human remains found in January at Chaps Run Park in Zanesville. The Zanesville Times-Recorder reports that the remains were of 32-year-old Zanesville resident Justin Tittman. According to DNA analysis results, Tittman, who frequently stayed at the park, had been missing since this summer. While police can't release information about the cause of death or this case, his family believes that there was foul play involved. And now until a listen in ear for weather.
Forecaster Alyssa Lanier from the Newswatch Weather Center. Right now in Athens, it is 57 degrees. The pressure is 30 inches, and it isn't very humid outside. It is about 35%, and the winds are from the northwest at 6 miles an hour. Across the region, it is mostly cloudy. No, it is mostly sunny, and the clouds will come in. It is about 57 to 60 degrees across the region. It is 57 in Athens, 54 in Cambridge, 55 in New Lexington, 60 down in Ironton, which is the hot spot of the area. And the sun is starting to set, so it will start to cool down as the sun sets. And then looking at your headlines for the next few days, we are seeing warm temperatures for the next few days, and then will there be spring showers? Back to you, Sam.
Thanks, Alyssa. After canceling their baseball season last year, the Southern Ohio Copperheads were eager to step back onto the diamond. With the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, however, the Copperheads were tasked with making a difficult decision. We now head to Bob Wren Stadium, where WOUB reporter Jack Demler discusses the tough choice.
For the second straight summer, Bob Wren Stadium will be completely empty after the Southern Ohio Copperheads canceled their season due to COVID-19 concerns.
It came down to not only financials, but first and foremost, safety. There's still so much unknown, right? We wanted to make the best decision from a safety and financial perspective for the organization.
The Copperheads plan to stay engaged with fans this summer in hopes of bringing them back next season.
It's everything. I mean, that's the reason why we had to cancel this season, is because we were just not sure what our fan engagement could be. We can't have the fans in the ballpark, then why are we having a season?
The Copperheads were also forced to cancel their season last year when coronavirus first started to spread. The organization found new ways to engage with its fans for a virtual summer of fun. One popular idea involved a live stream of the Copperheads in action on the virtual diamond.
The digital season, which was awesome. MLB The Show, where you created players based on fans' expressions and so forth in terms of people that wanted to be named a Copperhead. So that was super exciting. But we wanted to provide that learning experience.
Bringing fans back next season is vital to the survival of the Copperheads and other small teams around the county. But the organization says they have faith in themselves and the community.
Sitting on a bench for 2 seasons, tough, right? So sitting on the sidelines for 2 seasons, you could potentially risk people forgetting about the organization. But that's all part of what our initiatives this summer are going to be, going into next fall, spring, and again, kicking off next summer with the 20th season.
We need to just keep the Copperheads in everybody's mind. As we know, we've got our 20th anniversary season coming up in 2022. So we'll focus on that, coming back to bring the experience that everybody has come to know and love about the Southern Ohio Copperheads.
Reporting for WOUB, I'm Jack Demler.
The Copperheads will now be tasked with finding other ways to give fans another summer of fun. Ohio University will appear as an answer on the popular game show Jeopardy next week. According to a university press release, OU will be in the category A College Conference Call. Why Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and state legislators are at odds, and a look at Minneapolis after a summer of protest. These stories and more when Newswatch returns. The first week of jury selection wraps up today in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to murder charges. He is seen on video kneeling on George Floyd's neck for nearly 8 minutes last May. In the following weeks, protesters rallied across the country over Floyd's death. Some cities saw violence, with Minneapolis suffering more than $350 million in property damages. A city official said last month. Nadia Romero joins us from Minneapolis, where the struggle to rebuild continues.
Fair, impartial, or not.
Chauvin's trial a reminder of last summer's unrest, when the Lake Street area went up in flames, including elite cleaners just 2 blocks from the 3rd precinct.
They burnt all this down, all this here.
Owner Pinky Patel estimates nearly $1 million in damages.
Still have to pay the bank.
Yeah, I have to.
On top of paying for repairs because your landlord didn't have insurance.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Patel says mounting debt and more repairs means pushing back her retirement by 10 years.
All the money that I have worked hard and put into this is gone.
She blames the governor, mayor, and the state legislature for a lack of funding to rebuild.
You have failed us big time. I would tell them on their face, for sure.
The governor's request for federal aid denied. Now he's asking the state legislature for $150 million in his latest budget proposal. A bill to give $268 million to businesses damaged in the unrest failed. Now it sits before the state legislature for a second time. State Senator Patricia Torres Ray represents this district.
We will continue to pressure the Senate, but it doesn't mean that we're just going to give up.
Despite a projected $1.6 billion state budget surplus, Torres Ray says rural lawmakers and predominantly white districts may turn their backs on a diverse Lake Street neighborhood again.
I think there is a lot of racism and a lot of divide.
It wasn't the government, but nonprofit Lake Street Council that raised $5.5 million for hundreds of businesses, giving $25,000 to elite cleaners.
Luckily, everyone pitched in, everyone helped.
But with Chauvin's trial sparking new protests, some are concerned.
We are going to be protecting our community too, because we cannot afford to have this again.
In Cleveland, similar fallout is occurring after the Cleveland Appeals Court ruled the former police officer who shot a 12-year-old black boy would not get his job back. Cleveland.com reports the 8th District Court of Appeals dismissed an appeal on Thursday filed by a police union. The court found that union officials failed to serve Cleveland. Attorneys with a timely application to vacate a decision upholding Timothy Lohman's firing. Lohman was not fired for killing Tamir Rice in 2014, but 2 years later for lying on his application to become a Cleveland police officer. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine says he's hoping for a compromise with fellow GOP lawmakers over a bill restricting the governor's health care powers during a pandemic. This week, Republican-controlled General Assembly approved a bill allowing the legislature to rescind a public health order after 30 days. DeWine says the bill is unconstitutional, and GOP Senate President Matt Huffman says the bill gives Ohioans a chance to be a part of health order process. See what changes the Vinton County Lady Vikings have made on their way to the program's first ever Final Four appearance. That story's still ahead.
Temperatures have been warm and mild the past few days. Are these warm temperatures here to stay? I'll talk about that in my full forecast, but first, here's a look at stocks of local interest. Welcome back. I'm forecaster Alyssa Lanier. Right now in Athens, it is 57 degrees and the winds are from the northwest at 6 miles an hour. Across the region, it is 57 in Athens, 60 in Ripley, 58 in Marietta, all under sunny skies. So it is a very beautiful day out in Athens. Hour by hour at 8 p.m. it will be 50 degrees and then there will be a gradual cool down to 44 at midnight. It will be an overall pleasant night, so you can go out and about, but I definitely would recommend bundling up because the low in Athens is 33 degrees and there will be overcast skies. It will be pretty chilly, as I said earlier, so bundle up if you have to go out and about. The winds are from the northwest at 0 to 5 miles an hour. Across the region, the lows will be 33 in Athens, 36 in Ripley, 34 in Marietta, 34 in New Martinsville, all under mostly cloudy skies. Hour by hour tomorrow morning, if you have to go out and about, definitely bundle up your children. It will be 34 degrees, and then there will be a slight warm up throughout the morning at 45 at noon. The clouds will thicken throughout the day to be mostly cloudy in Athens. It will be 55 as your high, so it will be a very nice, warm, pleasant day. Unfortunately, it will thicken up, so it will be mostly cloudy tomorrow. Winds will be from the north at 0 to 5 miles an hour. Across the region, we're seeing overall low 50s to high 50s, 57 in Ripley, 55 in Athens, 55 in Marietta, 54 in New Martinsville, all under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Looking aloft, we are under a ridging pattern, which means we are seeing high pressure move into our area, which is bringing this fair weather that we are seeing. At the surface, this cold front passed through our area, and this high pressure system is building into our area. As you will see, it will linger through Sunday, and then this frontal system will push through, bringing a chance of rain on Monday. Looking at your weather for the next few days, on Saturday it will be 55 degrees and it will be partly cloudy. On Sunday it will be mostly cloudy and it will be 54 degrees. Then as that low pressure system moves in, on Monday it will be 45 degrees, so it will cool down as you start your work week, and there is a 60% chance of rain. So definitely take your umbrella if you're going out and about the next week, because there is a chance of rain throughout the whole week next week. On Tuesday, there is a 30% chance and it will be 62 degrees. So we will see it start to warm back up on Tuesday into Wednesday. It will be 60 degrees and there is a 30% chance of rain. On Thursday, it will be 54 degrees with a 40% chance of rain. Friday, it will be 48 degrees. Back to you, Sam.
Thanks, Alyssa. The Vinton County girls basketball program has been dominant over the last 3 years, but they have not made it to the state's Final Four until this year. WUB reporter Jacob Murray has more on the historic season taking place in MacArthur.
Coach Rod Bedley has never made it past the district finals in his career with the Vinton County Lady Vikings, but this year was different. A 20-1 regular season and a district championship win over the Circleville team that knocked them out last year. What pushed an already solid team to new heights this year? A new focus.
This year we have focused a lot more on defense than we have in the past. We have been three-point shooters and that's all. This year, pretty much every practice we've done something that has to do with defense.
When Morgan and the team felt the sting of losing the district title game last year, their coach knew defense was the key to moving on.
I think our defense is what got us here. And I'm real proud of that maturity and that adjustment that we made.
The emphasis on the defensive end has not been the only change that we've seen from this team, but the return of senior Mariah Davis has helped this team win the district title and move all the way to the Final Four of the state tournament.
Davis played only 3 games a year ago after injuring her left knee. Since then, she's improved her game on both ends of the court to help the Lady Vikings this year.
I think my shooting has definitely gotten better. For my size, I think I have longer arms than people think, so I do get my hands on a lot of balls and I get steals.
Her teammates and coach agree she is the key to their success in every game she plays.
She has made a huge impact. I 100% believe that the reason we are where we are this year is because she's came back better than she was.
Mariah is an elite basketball player, and this year was a healthy year, and getting through this year, she really changed the whole dynamics of our basketball team. It gives us another threat out there.
Vinton County's next challenge is the Laurel Lady Gators, one of the top teams in the state. But the Lady Vikings feel confident with their fans right behind them.
And then the community, the way they've supported us, was just special. This community is behind us right now, doing everything they can to get us ready.
After capturing their first district title in team history, the journey to the Final Four begins, and the Lady Vikings are ready to play till the last whistle blows. For WUB, I am Jacob Murray.
Earlier this afternoon, the Lady Vikings pulled off the upset over Laurel 53-51, securing a spot in the Division II state championship game. They'll play the Napoleon Lady Wildcats this Saturday with tip-off set for 5:15. Congrats to the Lady Vikings.
Hi, I'm Curtis Fader, and coming up, both the Ohio men's and women's basketball team are competing for the MAC title. Highlights and analysis up next on Newswatch. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station. Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Curtis Fader. Why am I wearing a bow tie on television? Because it is time to celebrate as March Madness is finally here. The big question, however, is will the Ohio Bobcats be a part of the big dance? They'll have to win the MAC tournament to do so, and so let's check on those teams. Let's start with the women. The Ohio women's basketball team started their quest for a MAC title on Wednesday when they faced Ball State in a nail-biter. Cece Hooks got hers in the first half, but she went cold in the second. And that was when Erica Johnson reintroduced herself to the basketball world by exploding for 14 points in the third quarter. She was hurting, but it did not matter. The Bobcats were tight defensively and protected the ball to escape with the 61-59 victory. The Bobcats could not celebrate for long as they had to lace them up against Central Michigan. This game went down to the wire too, so if you suffer from stress, do not watch this segment. CeCe Hooks and Erica Johnson were a dynamic duo once again, but the Lady Chippewas kept up the pressure as the two teams went toe-to-toe down the stretch. The game was knotted up at 85 heading to overtime, but with CeCe Hooks fouled out, Central Michigan went on an 8-0 run to pull away and send the Bobcats home 100-92. Tough pill to swallow, but the men had a much better time. When they took the court Thursday in Cleveland, they faced Kent State as the 5 seed. The team played lights out, shooting nearly 70% from the field in the first half, making 50% of their three-pointers in the game. Jason Preston led the team, scoring 19 points without missing any of his 8 attempted shots, but it was a collective display of dominance from all of the Bobcats. Kent State must have been a busy restaurant because they got slammed in the paint. The Bobcats were 1 point away from having 6 players in double figures, and the game was never in doubt. The Bobcats advanced to the semifinal round for the first time since 2017. The 22-point margin of victory was the largest in Ohio history in the MAC quarterfinals since the round was moved to a neutral site. Ohio now fights top seed Toledo for a spot in the MAC title game. The game is currently airing on CBS Sports Network. This year has not been kind to the Ohio hockey team as they are currently 1-12 in their shortened season. They play their final 2 games in Byrd Arena this weekend, with senior night taking place on Saturday. The attempt to end on a high note will not be easy since they will battle Lindenwood, a fierce rival who's currently undefeated. While the season is winding down for hockey on ice, hockey on the field is just getting started. After having the start of their season delayed from fall to the spring, Ohio field hockey will get their season underway today in Oxford against Miami. The roster this year is almost black and white in terms of experience, with 7 seniors and 8 freshmen. The squad is led by seniors Jillian Shive and Leah Warren, who made all MAC teams in the previous season. The team looks to improve this year after finishing last season with a .500 record. A lot of sports to digest, but that's all from me. I'm Curtis Fader. Back to you, Sam.
Thanks, Curtis. Time to spring forward this weekend. Don't forget to turn your clocks ahead an hour for daylight saving time, which begins at 2 a.m. on Sunday. The tradition is meant to give people extra sunlight in the evening hours. Right now, daylight saving time ends in November when we fall back an hour, but there's legislation in Congress to make daylight saving time last all year round. Not everyone observes this tradition, as Hawaii and Arizona do not change their clocks for daylight saving time. Let's take another look at weather.
Tomorrow in Athens, it will be 55 degrees. It will be partly cloudy, and overall it'll be a very beautiful day thanks to this high pressure system that is moving into our area. The winds will be from the north at 0 to 5 miles an hour. Across the region, it'll be 55 in Athens, 57 in Ripley, 55 in Marietta, 54 in New Martinsville, 52 in Cambridge, all under partly cloudy skies, so it'll be fair weather across the region tomorrow. Looking at your weather for the next few days, on Saturday it'll be 55 degrees under partly cloudy skies. The clouds will thicken into Sunday and it will be overcast skies and 54 degrees, so it'll be a very nice weekend overall until the rain builds in throughout your work week. Back to you, Sam.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Sam Wiesnath. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WUB.org. Have a great night.